All right, I've got this little Pulsajet tank off of this, Nikki, off this old Murray mower, and it was full of fuel. I pushed the primer bulb and it did prime, so I'm thinking to just try and save all of this. The grommet that attaches to the side of the carburetor and into that extension, aluminum extension, comes out the side, has been repaired with a bunch of electrical tape. I'm going to set that aside and not worry about it for a minute. I've loosened these Phillips head screws, and we're going to take this whole carburetor off of here and clean that, because it's absolutely filthy, especially inside, you know. I mean, it's not so, it's like a car engine. It can be dirty on the outside, but as long as the inside is protected, your engine will run. And so we're going to get these screws out of here and lift this carburetor out and clean it, and then reinstall it and put some good fresh stabilized fuel in there and give this mower a chance. The retaining clip and the gasket are in there, so I'm just trying to get these things loose where this carburetor will lift up. I think I've got them all loose. If not, then I think this one's still a little too snug. So I've got the carburetor separated, and underneath is the diaphragm and the gasket, and let's take a look at them. They don't look too bad, and it did prime, so I'm going to set that over here on that somewhat clean cloth. Yep, actually it looks pretty good. So let me tap these screws out and get them on the surface of the table. Got one more there, it's hanging on. All right, and we got to clean this carburetor up. Let me get a little pocket knife to just scrape the big stuff off. Screwdrivers, whatever. I'm making such a big mess here. Move that out of the way and get a piece of cardboard, newspaper or something. Okay. There's an old cereal box. There's a little bit of fuel there, but to be honest with you, that doesn't even look like fuel. It looks like water. So that's got to come out. Let me just kind of tip that over and get it out of there. And the very bottom of this fills up with dirt and sediment. That needs to come out. That really does look like water. But let's get the major pieces here off. Just get that cleaned off, where I'm going to be reattaching things mainly. Just getting the dirt and the grease away. Okay, that's a lot better. Now I'll show you what comes out of the bottom of that well. Watch this now. This is a small screwdriver. You see that gunk there? That's all right there where all the fuel is going to try to pass into your engine. So this needs to be cleaned out. I've seen far worse, but this one needs to be cleaned out. So I'm going to see if I can just do it with carburetor cleaner. And I've got other methods. So let me set the tank down. I'm going to go get my spray. All right, here's my carburetor spray. Now watch this. I'm going to spray this, and it has some force, so it helps clean this out. All right. Now, if you'll take a look, you can kind of see that some metal showing through now where it was not before. So I sprayed right down in there, and now I'm seeing metal instead of greasy dirt. Okay, you see how much better that looks now? That's the carb cleaner. I'm gonna get a little paper towel, a little scrap, and run it around in that well. I'm going to take that same skinny little screwdriver and use that to poke around and wiggle around and get any large chunks out. Okay, there you go. See how much better that looks down in there? Now the other thing you want to check with these, let me get a different tool. Sometimes when you put that big screw in that holds the air filter on, it won't thread in, and it just sits up, and it never does attach the air filter with any secure at all. It just kind of won't screw in. And I want you to listen to this. Hear that? Hear that? Not quite as loud. And this probably means there's gunk in there that needs to come out, and that is the screw hole that all the debris goes into and keeps the air filter screw from being able to get to the bottom. So I'm going to see that stuff coming out of there. So I'm going to get the big chunks out. See, that's why that sound was dampened. That also keeps your screw that holds the air filter off from being able to screw in. All right, so now I've got the big chunks out. I'm going to hit it with some carb cleaner in there. And let me run this around in there some more. Let me clean the stuff I've already dug out off of here. Anyway, you hear that? That's the sound, that's the metal. So now that screw will go all the way to the bottom because you've dug it out and cleaned it out with carb cleaner. So this is already looking a lot better. There's still a little bit of gunk right in that corner. That's a lot better. Wonderful carb cleaner. And while it's off, I'm going to go in this little hole right there make sure it's clear. And I think these things, for me, rarely block up, but it's always good to just make sure. And there's still some fuel in there, water probably. Let me go ahead and shake that out. I'll be right back. Okay, now I shook that fuel out, but I'm not done. I want to put a paper towel in there and soak up that the rest of it, because I think it's water. So when you come back, I'll have this carburetor cleaned up and reinstalled on this tank.